3 men vanish, not in a storm, not in a disaster, not in the middle of chaos, but from a perfectly functioning boat, floating in calm, open water. When the yacht was found, the engine was still running. Food sat ready to be eaten. A laptop was open. Everything looked normal. Except for one thing. The crew was gone. No distress call. No signs of struggle. No bodies ever found. This isn't a legend. This is the real story of the Ghost Ship Kaz II. December 2007. Australia's eastern coastline. The ocean stretched endlessly. Calm, predictable, almost peaceful. 3 men prepared for what should have been a routine sailing trip. Derek Batten, Peter Tunstead, James Tunstead. They weren't reckless adventurers chasing danger. They were experienced, practical, familiar with the sea. This wasn't their first time sailing. Everything about this trip suggested one thing: they were going to come back. But they never did. Derek Batten was known as someone who respected the ocean. He understood its unpredictability. He wasn't the type to take unnecessary risks. Peter and James Tunstead, father and son, shared a bond strengthened by years of sailing together. This trip wasn't just about the ocean. It was about time together, a quiet escape, a break from routine. Nothing about their departure raised concern. No bad weather warnings, no mechanical issues, no reason to believe anything would go wrong. And yet, something did. The Kaz II left Airlie Beach and began its journey north. For a while, everything seemed normal. At some point during the trip, a camera on board recorded footage. One of the men is seen calmly adjusting the sails. No panic, no urgency, just another moment at sea. That footage would become the last confirmed glimpse of them alive. Because after that, silence. 2 days later, a helicopter pilot noticed something strange below. A yacht drifting aimlessly. No visible crew, no direction, just floating. Authorities were contacted. A rescue team boarded the vessel. What they found didn't make sense. The engine was still running. The sails were partially set. A laptop sat open. Food was prepared, but uneaten. It looked like someone had just stepped away for a moment. But no one was there. The deeper investigators looked, the stranger it became. Personal belongings were untouched. Wallets, phones, keys, even life jackets remained neatly stored, which means they didn't plan to abandon the boat. There were no signs of struggle, no blood, no damage, no indication that anything violent had happened. It was as if the crew had simply disappeared. The first theory seems logical. One man falls overboard, maybe while adjusting the sail. Another jumps in to help. Then the third follows. Within seconds, all 3 are in the water, and the boat drifts away. But here's the problem. Experienced sailors don't all abandon a vessel. At least one would stay on board, especially without life jackets. This theory explains possibility, but not probability. Could a sudden wave have knocked them off? A rogue wave, perhaps? This happened before. But the conditions that day were calm. No storms, no strong winds, nothing extreme enough to explain a simultaneous disappearance. And if something sudden had happened, why is everything on the boat still perfectly in place? Some investigators suggest a chain of small mistakes. Maybe the autopilot malfunctioned. Maybe a rope got tangled. Maybe the boom swung unexpectedly, knocking someone into the water. The others react instantly, trying to save him. But panic leads to misjudgment. And within moments, all are gone. This theory is widely accepted because it's grounded in reality. But even then, it leaves gaps. Why no distress signal? Why no attempt to call for help? And then, there are the theories no one officially confirms. Foul play, but nothing was stolen. No signs of another vessel. No forced entry. And then, the ideas that live in the shadows. The unexplained. Because sometimes, when every logical answer fails, people start asking questions that don't have comfortable answers. Search teams scoured the ocean. Days turned into weeks. Nothing. No bodies. No debris. No closure. Families were left with silence. And questions that may never be answered. The Kaz II was recovered. But it carried no explanation. Only absence. A fully functional boat. Drifting alone in open water. Everything in place. Except for the people who were on it. 3 men vanished. without a trace. No witnesses, no final message, no answers. So what really happened on the Kaz II? Was it a tragic accident? A chain of mistakes? Or something we still don't understand? Because sometimes, the ocean doesn't just take lives. It takes the truth with it. What do you think happened? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more real mysteries that stay with you, subscribe, because the next story might be even more unsettling.